Damn it. I just put that on too. Oh, we're going convertible, I guess. These gloves are not wide enough for my hands. How sweaty that is.
Awesome.
It's lovely, isn't it? All right, we are back at ZFHQ. That's what he told me to call it. Rick is behind the camera. Thanks, Rick. But that is not to be confused with the ZFP1s, which there are some questions about that. Are we bringing them back?
Yeah.
Are we going to do the same, or are we going to do something different?
The P1 will obviously be the P1. Oh, in regards to like lasering and etching, to be determined, probably.
Well, the other day, on Tuesday, I think it was, I asked you guys to ask me questions for today. So Rick and I are going to actually answer your questions from Instagram, and there were a ton of responses. So while we finish working on these pins, we're also going to answer your questions. There's only a little bit of work left to do on those. They will be available when you're watching this video. Those pins will be available for purchase, but we're going to get to making or finishing them and answering all of these questions. Not all of them. There are way too many to answer, but we're gonna get the best ones. I'm gonna throw some at Rick too, because he probably has better answers than me on some of these things. All right, this one comes from Urban Carvers, good friend of mine. He says, and this one's for you. I'm gonna throw this one over to you. Stranded on an island with zombies, which knife did you bring?
Shirogorov 95T or my Benchmade Bug Out.
Stranded on an island, that's what you're bringing?
A knife?
Yeah, I'm bringing a Rat 5.
Oh, if I'm bringing it. I don't know, those are the two knives that I like, that I carry all the time.
That's a huge rat.
Oh, okay.
Fixed blade.
Let's start this over. Okay.
Start it over. You get one chance.
One shot? Okay.
One shot. No. Okay, what would you bring?
I would bring probably like a Chris Reeve.
Chris Reeve?
Yeah, large
like
Chris Reeve fixed blade.
All right.
Yeah.
This one comes from Zero Feud. What is something you disliked, then after using it came to love it? I think everybody knows the answer to that. Victorinox Cadet. I hated it at first. I got it, had it, didn't like it, and now I love them. So, Cadet. I love it.
That's a great question.
It is a great question.
Yeah.
What a guy. What a guy.
Stellar.
Garrett Price. He says, when will I see you again? You saw me this morning. Oh, and one more from a friend of mine. The Gray Adventures, Nick Gray. He actually runs Fandroid now. He said, how's your RV remodel going? Great. Great. We took pictures to list it for sale last weekend. So if anybody around here wants a 1965 Avion Legrand 25-foot that needs pretty much a gut job, hit me up. Yeah, we're not going to be able to sell that. All right, let's get to work on some pins. So I have short, stubby hands, and because of that, these size mediums just do not fit.
You know what you need? Extra medium.
Extra medium.
Yeah.
Fat, thick medium. THICC.
Medium wide.
Medium wide gloves. I don't think they make those. But they're too long for my fingers, but they're so tight on my hands. All right, so this is
the acid bath.
an acid bath.
Yeah.
Which we gotta. So we get a little acid bath. Leave it in there for a few seconds. Then you bring it out and neutralize it. And then dip. And you'll see it slowly turn bronze, actually kind of fast. Bronzano. One down, 9 to go.
Taylor said he's over here doing real work. After we just talked this morning about how much editing video is so much work. An underappreciated workload.
Ooh, here's a unexpected benefit of plugging that in. It's not taking on water.
I like it.
Creates pressure in there. Alright, so all 10 of these have been bronze anodized. I think they look great so far, but they're a little gritty, so I'm going to have to clean them out, but also we're going to tumble them, and we've not yet done anything to the clips other than tumble blast them, and we still have to figure out what in the heck we're going to do with the buttons, the pushers. I know in the clips we're going to anodize them a different color and laser etch them with a topo design. This, I don't know, because we don't want to mess up the mechanism. We don't want that getting gritty or anything. So you can tape it off and maybe try to blast it, be gentle. EDC gear IG says, when did your EDC turn out to be very inconvenient instead of making your life easier? It hasn't. If something makes my life inconvenient, I stop carrying it or I find something better. Miss Tale of Knives, she said, what does Casper Tech mean? I get that question a lot, actually. Casper is because I'm so pale. I got a nickname from my friend. He passed away a few years ago, and he always called me Casper because I'm so pale. I was trying to come up with a name for my business because I have a company. I wanted to kind of honor him, so I chose Casper, and I was doing technology at the time with YouTube, just Pocket Now, Phone Dog, all sorts of other companies, so Tech was the obvious second part to that, so Casper Tech. That's the meaning behind all of it. What's the best steel in your opinion? The one that cuts. Honestly. 8CR is not like sexy, it's not great, but it does the job. You just have to sharpen it more often. So I try not to stress too much about what steel a knife has. I prefer some, like I like S35V and fine, M390 is fine. I don't really have a favorite. But as far as best goes, there is no one best steel, it's just the best steel for the job. And usually for, I would say 99.9% of the people, that's whatever they have on them. Whatever you have is fine. I don't think you really need anything special, unless you're doing some extremely hard use stuff. I think it was a 3V steel fixed blade. There was a YouTube video, somebody shared it in the Discord, but there was a guy literally splitting cinder blocks with a fixed blade knife. Using it, just putting it against the fixed blade and hammering them apart and just put it through hell, and he could still cut with it afterwards. So, I don't know. I don't have a point. I don't have an end to this question or answer. Hamilton or Marathon watches. So I'm wearing my Bertucci today. I really like this watch. I've been looking at Hamilton a lot. Marathon, they're a little bit bulky for me, a little obnoxious on how big they are. And we'll do one more for now. If you were to design and make one item for your personal EDC, what item would that be? That's actually a good question. I mean, we have a lot of plans to make EDC gear. So there's not just one.
For you, probably pry bar, your first.
The pry bar is the first because I think it's the easiest to make.
Yeah, one of the easiest.
Right?
Yeah.
If I were to choose one item out of all the stuff I have that I want to make more than anything, it's a watch. Because while I like this Bertucci, it doesn't have everything. I have the Loomtech. I got the Combat B54 chronograph. I love that watch, but it's not exactly what I want. Like, it's not an automatic and it's not solar. So what I want is an automatic watch with a way to track time, like a stopwatch, like a chronograph, or a rotating bezel. So I've looked and looked and looked. The closest thing is either that Loomtech that I have, or there's another Bertucci that has a bezel on it, but they're both quartz watches and they're not solar, and they're not automatic. Like, I want something that I don't have to worry about a battery. It's such a small, insignificant thing, but just that the part of just being able to wear it and it continue to power itself is really cool to me, and there's no reason not to have that in a watch, right? Like, batteries are just not that interesting to me. Something that is self-sustaining is far more interesting, and that matters to me. So I want a watch that can obviously tell the time, has a date window, and has either a bezel or a chronograph, but is also self-sustaining in some way or another.
Compressor.
I don't know where that went. So now they're 11 because mine's in there. Here's mine. It looks a little different. So I flamed the grip on mine, so it's a little grungier, but it's very similar. Quite purple. I like it. for the most part, the pins are done. The clips are anode, and they're looking mighty fine. In fact, here's mine. Let me put it together real quick. And you can see about what the finished product is going to look like, minus the fact that mine is flamed on the grip instead of just a solid bronze anode. So that is pretty much what the end product is going to be, but you can see mine is a little darker and it's got this flame treatment versus just the straight bronze. So that's what they're going to look like if we decide to top over the clips. I think we are, but currently we are redoing all of the buttons because they were bright shiny blue and they didn't match. Let's get to some more questions. This is a good one. Tanner Huff says, are you selling the pins you are customizing? Yes, that's literally why I'm here, to sell these. Tips on my photos, really trying to step up my game in this community. I'm gonna have to dedicate a whole video to that because it's such a long answer. Best way to carry field notes, there are a ton of different field notes covers. You can get, my favorite is the Yellow Birch Outfitters pocket organizer because it's Cordura and it just kind of works really well for everything I need. But sometimes I also switch it out for hitch and timber stuff. He's got the County Fold and the Engineer Caddy and just different organizers that hold field notes notebooks. Uncle Biggs EDC says, how do I join the Discord? Literally just click the link. It's in the description of every single video I make on YouTube. Other than that, I think if you go to my Instagram bio and click the link tree, I think the Discord is also linked there. When are the beads and pry bars coming back? Beads within a couple of days of this video, maybe a week at the most, I think. As far as pry bars, I don't know. I don't really have a date. I want to get my own design out, so who knows. But the ZFP ones will also be back in stock eventually, but you don't have a time frame either.
Yeah, no ETN. There's got a bunch of projects backed up.
we have a long list of things that we want to do, and that's not even counting the stuff that Rick has to do to be able to pay for this place. So yeah, there's just always a long list of stuff. Can you help me out? This is from Ivan. He said, can you help me out? I'm looking for someone who can make custom scales and clips. Rick's buddy, yeah.
Steve Ripplinger at Rips Garage Tech.
Yeah, Rips Garage Tech over on Instagram. He did the clip for my Half Dome, the Summit Knife Company Half Dome. He does scales for Paramilitary 2, PM3 maybe.
I think he's working on the PM3s, working on some bench-made stuff. His big focus recently has been working on bench-made clips, or spider coat clips, and a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, and he's finally got his process perfected, so he's kicking butt. So yeah, if you guys just hound him on Instagram about what you guys want, and the biggest audience obviously is going to, the biggest demand is going to get the stuff done quicker.
Yeah, and he doesn't do deep carry clips, right? He just does milled.
Yeah, actually milled. Yeah, solid billet titanium grade 5 clips.
Yeah, so they're not thin, loopy deep carry. They're actually thicker and a little more robust, I think. Yeah. What's your favorite wallet? It changes all the time, but currently I'm carrying the Hitch and Timber Trucker's Hitch. It's a little thick and big for what I normally carry, but I like it. Let's turn it around on Rick for a minute. Best color / material combo for EDC.
Material would probably be titanium. Color, say like OD green. If you're talking knives, and I'm a big fan of micartas and composites.
You're gonna have to talk up, buddy.
Yeah.
You're quiet. You're so quiet. You're
really?
So quiet.
I feel like I'm not talking that quietly.
You're
I guess
very
you
quiet.
do project. Really?
Yeah. Well, I talk loud.
Okay, then I'll talk louder.
It's okay. It's okay. Did anyone told you that you were beautiful?
Did anybody tell me I'm ever beautiful? My daughter, we joke with her and tell her that she's beautiful and that the boys are handsome. So if I say, am I beautiful? She says, no, Dad, you handsome. She's 3 years old.
All right, best fidget knife you've ever handled?
Fidget knife? Oh, fidget factor knife? I'd probably say like the PM2s. I like the Spidey hole flicking it out, and I love that. Is that a compression lock?
Yeah.
Yeah, the compression lock. I just love flipping it up, and like, you can fidget with it so many different ways, either with just flicking it or grabbing it and keeping that lock open and just slapping it back and forth.
Mine has to go with the sheep's foot Griptilian.
Yeah, the Griptilians are same concept. It's like you can hold the lock and just flick it
around.
around.
Yeah. Well, there they are, ready to go, packaged up. Actually, I've got to take them all back apart and Loctite them, but this guy has to go because he checks out of work at like 1 p.m. every day.
Well, this guy doesn't show up until like 12. So I'll be here at 9.
I have a 1 hour window to make stuff.
Yeah.
No, I get here like 12 because I'm lazy, but he
He's
he
got a
gets here
baby.
really
She got a
early.
newborn.
You get here really early, like every day.
7 o'clock. I'd be here at like 5 if I could,
really
but
late.
it's just kids. Kids change your life.
And I go to bed really late every night.
I go to bed
3 a.m.
Nah, I don't go. I go to bed about midnight, 1.
He's got to go home. I'm going to go home as well, and then I will answer more questions there. It's been a long day. So I left Rick's shop around 4:15. He had to leave, and I went home and finished the pins, Loctited the grips, and assembled them. I'm still going to have to take them all apart and lube the mechanism once the lube comes in the mail. But that's okay. They're still up for sale right now. I'm just not going to be able to fulfill those orders until probably Monday. I've got the baby by myself all weekend, so I probably won't have much time to actually finish the pins, but I will this weekend at some point, probably Sunday night, and I'll ship them out Monday morning. But that's beside the point. I still need to get to these questions. The baby was asleep, so I came to the office, and when I got here, the old people upstairs were like having a meeting right over my head. So I've been sitting here for an hour waiting on them to go away, and here we are. I'm extremely tired, but here is a totally finished version of the Carry Commission custom big idea design TI Click EDC. So just to recap, we have a bronze anode body and grip and button and a blue anodized and topo lasered clip. That is this run of these pins. I had so much fun doing this. I'm definitely going to do it again, whether it's with this pin or the tactile turn pins or a TI Pocket Pro, whatever the pin may be. I'm definitely going to be making more custom pins. Maybe I'll do a bigger batch than 10. I love how these turned out. There are only 10 of them, though. They're live right now, so head over to carry.best and purchase one yourself. But while I'm at it, 3 of my friends, multiple friends of mine have done some pretty cool stuff lately. This right here, you guys may recognize this logo. This is the Pete's Pirate Life or Pirate Life, Peter McKinnon's little secret EDC brand. This came in the mail today, and I was expecting it to come. I knew it was coming, but it's still cool. If you didn't know, another friend of mine did a video today, well, yesterday, by the time you're seeing this, Jeremy Sires, he actually covered these pins from Big Idea Design. Not the Pete's Pirate Life version of it, but just the brass and copper versions of Big Idea Design pins. They're actually currently live over on Kickstarter, so if you were interested in some of the Big Idea Design pins and titanium wasn't your bag, and you don't want one of my customs in titanium, you can now get these pins, well, when they ship, you can back them on the Kickstarter and you can get them in copper and brass. That's in the TI Pocket Pro and the TI Click. So, well, I guess it wouldn't be the TI. I guess it would be the Pocket Pro and the Click EDC. It's fun to see these things come to fruition and all these people working together now, and it just makes me feel good. I like the camaraderie of the EDC world. Can you do a video on EDC coins or tokens or worry stones? I've actually thought about this a lot, and yeah, I definitely could. I've thought about doing one on just fidget toys or things of that nature, spinners and worry coins. Like I've got this a round square, I think he calls them contact coins, Deadeye contact coins, I think is what it's called. But this is just a solid brass coin that's rounded and beveled and chamfered on every edge. It's just very smooth, and it's meant for like manipulation. I am not very good at it, as you can see. I practiced a lot and just never really got anywhere with it. I could pass it down through my fingers and roll it back up, but like with little flips, I've not done it in a long time. But it's just fun to mess with, and I can slowly pass them through my fingers and kind of. Moving on. What's your favorite OTF? Guardian Tactical Recon, bar none. Like I've held and used several Microtechs. Guardian Tactical is just, honestly, they do it just a little bit better. They're so much smoother and a little more fidgety, and I like the fit and finish a little better. Did you get in on the Snafu 2.0 Epic Collaboration knife? Took the top spot in my collection? No, honestly, I need to stop buying knives. I need a new office, because this, and I just need a few different things other than new knives. I'd like to hire an editor if I could. I can't really afford it right now, but I would really like to have somebody help me shoot and edit videos. There are so many cool things I want to do that would just be a lot easier if I had someone else helping. With that said, I think I need to scale back the gear that I purchase. Also, with that said, the most recent knife acquisition is the ProTech SBR. I've never really been a huge fan of auto knives, but ProTech is a step above. The kick on this little itty bitty knife is unreal. And it doesn't do it justice on video. The only thing that does it justice is holding it in your hand and clicking that little button, pushing it in and just feeling it whack. It wants to jump out of your hand. Alex doesn't like me fiddling with this knife because it hurts her ears. Same with the Chavez. Good question. Benchmade Bug Out or Sabinza. If I had to choose just one for eternity, I would go Sabinza. I just would. Turn in some of that fidget factor and cool flair for tried and true classic timeless design. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Sabinza every single time, especially if money's not an issue, right? The Sabinza is quite a bit more expensive than the Bug Out. Unless you're talking about the small Sabinza and a Bug Out with TI scales, they're really getting closer in price. Do you plan on going fishing or camping with the baby? Yes, I cannot wait. I'm actually probably going camping next month by myself, but next year I would love to take Eleanor. Absolutely. Why don't you have any big brand watches except for budget ones? I have a Seiko. I have the SUN065. That's the first nicer watch that I bought for myself. This is the Bertucci AT4. I bought this because it was in their bargain bin on their website the other week, and it was $250, which is much cheaper than it normally is. It's normally a $440 watch. And I also bought the Lumetech B54 chronograph, like I said earlier, and that one was a $500 watch. That was honestly my present to myself for hitting 100,000 subs, and I haven't done that yet. You probably can't see this, but it says 97300. YouTube recently started rounding to the nearest 100 subscribers, so you can't see the subscriber count go up in real time anymore, which really irks me, but the B54 chronograph, they only made 200 of them. I kept watching their site and checking the inventory, and there were like 85, and then there were 70, and then there were 60, and then 50, and I was like, okay, I need to buy one just so they don't get gone, and I'm glad I did. But I really like tool watches. I like field watches and chronographs and just hard use watches because I'm not easy on equipment. This is, I've been wearing this for about a week now. I've kind of beat it up a little bit, but I need something that will withstand me, and I don't really care for very thin, small, fancy watches, I guess we'll say. I don't like any Rolexes. I've not seen a Rolex that I like, or Tudor, or many other brands. They just don't do anything for me. I'm okay having a decent, just an okay watch to wear for formal occasions. But as for the watches I wear every single day, I want something hard use, and this Bertucci is a damn tank. This thing could probably withstand a bomb. There are no spring bars. It's just solid lugs. This is one solid piece of titanium, and it's badass. It's so badass. I think it's really awesome. Although this is a wrist blanket. A 26 millimeter strap is ridiculously thick. Wrist blanket it is. Okay, why do you EDC? Because everybody every day carries, like everybody in the world has an EDC, unless you carry literally nothing with you every single day. No wallet, no keys, no nothing. Unless you carry literally nothing on you, you have an everyday carry. Brass or copper, if you had to choose one, brass. I know I really loved copper in the past, and I love the way that copper patinas more, but the weight of copper when I had an all copper carry just kind of turned me off it. Like, it got so heavy, especially when you carry it in an organizer. I had like 1.5 pounds in one spot, in one pocket, and it kind of killed it for me. What are you doing with Peter McKinnon? Well, as of right now, nothing. He sent me this and said, enjoy it, and I got a little pirate sticker and a little big idea sticker. But that, as of right now, nothing. We're just buddies. We talk about EDC gear, and that's about it. Now, here's a great one. What do you do for a living? This is it. This is my job. This and running carry commission, which I'm doing a piss poor job of right now, but I'm trying. I'm a new dad, and well, the days seem really short these days. I really need more hours in a day, and I need more sleep. So I had to plug my phone in because I've been going since 9, like I said, and it was dead. So forgot my charger at home. Lucky for me, I have this nice big power bank just sitting back here on my shelf. Forgot I had it, so here we are. Here's a question I don't get very often. Least favorite knife purchase. Honestly, and this is a little bit of a spoiler alert for the budget video, honestly, the Rat 2. It's just too small. I know on paper and side by side it's very close in size to the Elementum, and I've been raving about the Elementum, but beside it, like, I see no reason to get the Rat 2 over the Elementum, or a lot of other knives in that price range. Now, a Rat 1 is a different story, or the Essie Avispa, but honestly, I've just been underwhelmed with the Rat 2, to be totally honest. Here's a great one. Do you ever stay with a piece of gear you like, or is it a constant rotation? So both. The Lynch Northwest is always in my pocket now. Always. The wallet, I'm constantly changing wallets. I'm constantly changing pins. Like, just now, I'm trying to figure out which one of these to carry. And then in my wallet, I also have the tie scribe, or tie 2 design heck liner, a little super short magnetic pin. So that's staying in my wallet. And I definitely don't need to carry 3 pins every day. I barely use 1. So yeah, I rotate out a lot of stuff. Definitely rotate knives. But there are staples that don't get changed out very often. So a little bit of both. What is the ultimate grail knife for you? So that's a question that has changed a lot. The last time I said a Nirvana, and it was because you can't really find Spyderco Nirvanas very easily. You can find some on the secondary, but they're not exactly easy to come by, and they're about $400 to $450, even now used on the secondary. So that's not really one of my grails anymore. Like, if it came along, I would buy it, but also spending that much money on a knife is more tolerable to me. So I have a Chavez, which was $350. I have a large Sabenza. I didn't spend $450 on it, but that's what they cost, you know? So the answer has changed a lot because my tastes have changed, but I've also become accustomed to spending more on knives. Right now, I would like to have a Grimsmo Norseman, but I also don't want to spend $1,000 on a knife. So I guess that's part of what makes it a grail. I'm not as interested in the Grimsmo Rask. It just doesn't do as much for me. If money weren't really an option, a Chamoire would maybe be on that list just because it's like a really, really, really high-end Elementum. Like, very similar design, very understated, very simple design, and a really functional blade. Maybe that. We'll say a Norseman and a Chamoire, but honestly, I'm being 100% serious. I'm okay with my collection right now. I like what I have. I'm really happy with pretty much everything in it. And there's nothing that I'm really dying to get my hands on. So it feels good. It feels good to not like see other knives and be like, yeah, that's cool, but I'm happy. You know, I'm very happy. I don't want to sell anything that I own. I don't want to buy anything really. So I'm happy. I don't know how long that'll last, but currently I'm content. As a fellow lefty, what are your thoughts on frame lock knives? So, I mean, this is a subframe lock, but I have no issue. I'm kind of back and forth. I write left-handed, but I use my knife right-handed. So I don't really have the issue that a lot of lefties have with frame lock knives or liner lock knives. But also, when I use my knife left-handed, I don't really have any issues. I can still flip it open, and instead of pushing the lock bar, you're just pulling it. So I can still use it left-handed. So I've never really understood the argument about left and right-handed knives. The only one that really gets me is the ProTech, because instead of pushing the button with your thumb, you're doing it with your index, and it's really hard to close this left-handed. Like, I can do it, but I feel like I'm going to drop the knife, whereas this is just very easy to do. Here's a great question. Do you like what you do? So for about 10 years, well, 7, 3 years, I really enjoyed phones. But after that, I tried everything to get out of technology. And I've explained a lot of this before. I was very unhappy with the content I was producing, but I had to do it because I didn't really have any other options as a professional. Like, that was my career path. I had no education. So that was really the only way I saw forward. And, you know, I did it. I just kind of grinned and bared it for 6, 7 years. And now I love what I do. I love being able to wake up and make videos about this gear and see all the new things. And I absolutely love, more than that, I love the community I've built over in the Discord and Instagram. Just everyone just comes together and is so friendly, and it's just such a great community. And I absolutely love that. But as far as making the videos, I'm not saying I'm getting tired of making videos. I'm getting tired of working by myself, which is one of the reasons I love going over and working with Rick. Working with someone is something I've not done a lot as a professional. Like, I've worked by myself for the vast majority of my adult life, and that gets very, very old. Most days, I sit in my basement at home in a dark, cold basement and edit videos, and that's my life for the most. That's like 90% of what I do, and I don't have any problems with that, but I really just want to work with someone. I want somebody who can spearhead this with me, who can be behind the camera and help me edit and help me do things, just because two brains together working towards one thing is always better than just one person. And that is the biggest, not downside. There's no real downside to what I'm doing. It's just kind of the biggest thing that bugs me right now. I'm really, it's almost 1 a.m. Why are you walking around? This is the biggest problem. Seriously. It's 12:40. Why? It's been one of the biggest things bumming me out lately is just I'm not super happy with the content I'm producing, and it's hard to shoot video of myself with a lot of these things in the way that I like to shoot video. I can set up a tripod and do standard, static, boring shots, but I like getting creative and being cinematic with stuff, and I'd love to just have somebody that I can be like, hey, can you help me shoot this real quick? And I do that with some people around Concord, but it's not the same as just having somebody sitting at a desk beside me and being like, hey, let's go shoot this real quick, and then coming back to what we're doing. It's just, I love what I do every single day. I'm very fortunate to be able to do this full time, but I'm just sick of working alone. I want somebody to work on this with me. That's all. I guess that's it for this. So if you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, be sure to hit that thumbs up button down below and subscribe to see more stuff like this in the future, and hit that notification bell so you're notified when I upload new videos. If you want to support what I'm doing here, there are links down below for the gear I carry. All of those are affiliate links, so if you do purchase anything, it does support what I'm doing by giving me a little bit of a kickback, but doesn't cost you anything extra. You can also go to carry.best to purchase one of these custom pins or other branded gear or stuff like this. I have merch over on the website as well. There's going to be more. There's always going to be more that I'm adding to it. So just go to carry.best, or you can go to patreon.com/bestdamnedc to support there. You can also follow us around the web. You can find us at bestdamnedc on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me, Taylor Martin, on Twitter and Instagram at CasperTech. And until next time,